there is strong. Then there is MTI strong.
Hello members, I'm Tom Morrison. Welcome to another edition of MTI TV. A growing expense on every heat treater's income statement is their cost of quality compliance. No matter whether it's NADCAP, the new Metacred, CQI-9, or other auditing bodies, the cost to stay in compliance is huge. Some heat treaters state it is as much as 13% of their gross sales. For an average MTI heat treater, that's $780,000 a year. At that cost, you better have a good understanding of quality systems and the industry specifications you are complying to. Both aerospace and automotive specs continue to change, making it crucial for heat treaters to stay informed on the latest developments. Today we have with us Andrew Bassett from Aerospace Testing and Pyrometry and Jim Oakes from Super Systems provide their thoughts on specs and compliance. Andrew, Jim, welcome to MTI TV.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for having me.
Andrew, let's start with you. You've been in many of the AMET committee meetings. What are a few key things you feel heat treaters should be paying attention to when it comes to pyrometry and the specs?
Well, there's a lot of misconceptions with pyrometry and the requirements. Getting to know the process specifications which drive you to the pyrometry requirements is one of the key things that the members really need to be aware of. Just not pyrometry requirements, but what the applicable process specifications that flow you to your classifications and your instrumentation types are really key.
Jim, for the automotive members, what about CQI-9? What are you seeing as some of the key areas members need to pay attention to?
Well, Tom, it's a mature document, and I think at this point a lot of people are doing things right when it comes to complying with the heat treat self-assessment, which is a good practice document. Some of the challenges I think that people are facing are really the alternate methods, or really what we get asked a lot of questions on is the alternate methods for verifying of atmosphere. And a lot of that has to do with what to do in the event that they have a situation where there needs to be a change. The spec calls out specifically plus or minus 0.03% carbon, but when it's off, what steps should be taken? Really what my guidance is on that is to have a clear control plan put in place to identify those problems and then how to address those.
Question for both of you. From working with members, what are some of the most misunderstood or problem areas of the specs you see by heat treaters?
I think, again, it's interpretation issues, is trying to make the specification fit for themselves versus understanding the specification and the requirements are probably one of the biggest issues to overcome. Understanding that the pyrometry requirements in AMS 2750 does cost some money to comply with those specifications, but if a person has a well understanding of the specifications and seeing what the frequency reductions can do to save you money, that's also another key area that I think is sometimes missed.
It really stems to how to address the issues around atmospheres, and a lot of that, Tom, is because of the questions that we get asked are the areas that we spend a lot of time in, and really it's how to address those situations when you have a deviation. If you have a deviation on temperature, I think pyrometry is really specific and well documented, and people know what to do. But when you have a specific issue on how to address an atmosphere issue based off an alternate method and what alternate methods should you be using, those are some of the things that I think that people are finding a bit more challenging. And a lot of that stems from experience. So one of the issues that you have is a lot of that expertise is leaving the industry. So how do people address this? How do people know? So those are some of the things that I think just come with years of experience, and then how do you troubleshoot, and then how do you get past those problems?
What would you say are 2 or 3 keys that you would share with heat treaters to help them have better quality systems when it comes to the audit compliance process?
Don't take any shortcuts. In the end, I think that's number one. In the end, it's going to catch up to you, especially for audit compliance to the aerospace standards. It will cost you a lot more in time and efforts to answer findings such as an aerospace audit or NADCAP audit would be the key thing. again, trying to get people to, if you don't have understanding of these specifications, just get some outside help, I think would be a good start to understand the requirements. And having people that are MTI members who are a part of these committees have a good understanding, and trying to find some help through that would be another key advantage.
A very well documented control plan, regardless of the issue. I think a lot of times what people are looking for is the ability to go back to a plan, and then if you have a deviation, have a plan and what steps that you should be taking to comply with or to get back into compliance. So a control plan is really, really important. Even if you don't meet the specs and you're producing good parts, it's really important that you have a plan in place that proves that you're producing the parts to the specs that that your end customer wants. So that's one that I think is really critical. The other is training. I touched on it just before with the experience leaving the industry. Have good training in place. First of all, it's a requirement for any quality system, but it also is important that you have these people trained so they know what to do when there is an issue. And if you don't have the proper people trained, then at least have procedures in place that they can specifically follow to get to resolution.
Andrew and Jim, again, we appreciate the support both of your companies give to MTI. Thanks for being with us today on MTI TV.
Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Members, at 13% of sales, that is a lot of money on the table for quality. To use it wisely, make sure you tap into the resources MTI has for you, including over 50 quality suppliers and our network of heat treaters across North America, all just a click away at heattreat.net. Because as a member, you are not just strong, you're MTI strong. I'm Tom Morrison. See you next time on MTI TV.